Hello everybody, this is Eric from Tech4, and today I'm doing a review of the Logitech F310 gamepad. So, the physical layout of the controller isn't that special. You have two joysticks on the bottom. It's kind of like a DualShock controller. The ABXY buttons and the D-pad on the top. More on the D-pad later because there's something really interesting about it. There's also this Logitech button, which acts as like, if you're in Steam Big Picture, it brings you to like the community page or whatever. There's a back button and a start button, and then the mode button, which switches the D-pad and the right analog or the left analog stick for a sport mode, presumably for sports games. I don't play them though. On the back, there are two bumpers and two triggers. The two triggers, they're like, it's kind of hard to explain. They're stiff and mushy at the same time. Like, they require a lot of force to pull or to push, but they're not that tactile at all. But the two bumpers are very tactile and nice and easy to push. On the back, there's a little switch that switches from X input to direct input. Now, I'm not going to explain this in this video, and that's about it. The build quality is where it shines, really. It's light, but it feels well built, and it's able actually to withstand a few drops, you know, from like, I want to say 4 or 5 feet. Pretty unscathed. The controller is basically plug and play with Windows. You can either use it in direct or X input, or if you download the Logitech software, you can do direct input and you can like map the buttons. I'm not gonna go into that pain. If you're using it on a Mac, you actually do have to switch it to direct input because X input won't work on the gamepad. Which, I mean, as long as it works with Macs is all I really care about, even if you have to switch it over to direct input. The D-pad is actually one big button that's on a rocker. It's really annoying at first, but after a while you actually do get used to it because you don't really use the D-pad much unless you play sports games, in which, well, I don't. So it's an 8-way D-pad, and the weird thing about it is that you can push down the button, and then it's like, I'm guessing that's for the sports mode instead of pushing down the joystick. So the last thing I want to talk about is comfort. So overall, the controller is pretty comfortable, except I do have a couple of gripes with the comfort. First is that the little arms are a bit too short. Now that makes it perfect just to reach the trigger, but reaching the bumper is a little bit of a stretch. And also what I would have preferred is to have the two joysticks up where the D-pad and the ABXY buttons, kind of like what Nintendo does, because I always find myself straining down. Another complaint another reason why the arms are too, the arms are too small. Yeah, is that I'm straining kind of to get down to the joystick. It's a bit more comfortable up on the ABXY, but even in that case, it's really good for. I got this on sale for 20 bucks at Best Buy. It's usually around 30 bucks online, so it is worth it if you're on a budget and you need a controller. But if you want to have a more long-term solution, probably the F310. It's an upgrade above this. It has wireless and like backlit, and I think, and stuff like that. Or if you don't want to go with Logitech, probably getting an Xbox One or PlayStation 4 controller and then having that for your computer. And then you can also use it if you have a console. That might be good. And I mean, there's plenty of other controller solutions online, but this is definitely probably best value controller solution. At least for me, with the cheapo controllers I've had to deal with in the past. So yes, I would recommend the Logitech gamepad F310 to a friend or whatever. I'd rate this, I'm gonna say 8.5 out of 10. Like this video if you liked it, dislike it if you disliked it, subscribe if you liked it all, I guess, and leave a comment if you have any more questions or yes. Okay, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next